Hi, my name's Heidi. My name's Heidi.
Hi everyone, I'm Kate, and I am a 10th grade student who is passionate about businesses and empowering young women. So in these series of videos, I will interview some female entrepreneurs to share their journeys and wisdom. And today I am thrilled to chat with Heidi Dugan, an Australian TV host and media professional. So before we start, Heidi, can you tell us a bit about your career?
Yeah, sure. So I started off after I finished school and I went to university and studied acting. And then I also, when I finished acting, I was working in the industry, and then I thought I will learn a little bit more, have a few more experiences, and then I studied international trade. And then I got the opportunity to come to China, and I was doing acting, doing media, but then I also brought my business side to it. And so here in China, I built a media career, a profile, but I also have ownership of a skincare brand, and I'm also running the Australian Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also on the board for the university back in Australia.
Well, that is very interesting. So first I'd like to ask some simple introductory questions. So why did you want to leave Australia?
It wasn't about leaving Australia, it was about going somewhere. And so I had just got a scholarship to Japan, so I was learning about Japanese culture, and then I heard about a course that was in international trade that was in China, and I thought to myself, if I'm going to be a great actress, I need to get out and live my life. I need to experience as much as I can. And I thought China would be such an amazing place to experience. So I made the decision to go to China after Japan. And then one thing led to another, and so many opportunities here in China and Shanghai that I ended up staying.
Oh, that's very nice. So from your experience, you wanted to be an actress first, right? So, why did you switch into TV? How did that shift happen?
It was really hard because at the time, film actors and TV actors were very separate. Because when you're acting in a movie or on a TV show, you're becoming someone else. But as a host, you're being yourself. Right? So it's actually very different, and you have to be really confident with yourself. And it was really just an opportunity came up. I was doing a lot of film and TV, and then I had this opportunity to host my own show. And I thought it was a great opportunity, and it was something I wanted to explore, and I thought, yes. So everything in my career has been, is this opportunity, how does it make me feel? Does it feel like something that would be, a new experience that would increase and push myself to learn more? And if generally it will, then I will say yes to it. Even if I don't know how to do it, even if it scares me, I will say yes.
Yeah, open up to experience.
Yeah.
So for viewers who haven't seen You Are the Chef, what was the idea behind the show and what made it special?
So this show has been a cult show for over 20 years. What made it really, really special, and what made it the sort of show that everyone continued to watch for such a long time, was we pulled the chefs out of the kitchen. So all of these expert chefs, they were the head chefs from the best restaurants, the best hotels, and we pulled them out of the kitchen and we asked them, what are the tips? What are the tricks that they use to create amazing food, and to share that with us, the audience? And it was because of their sharing that a lot of other chefs then went, oh my God, that's amazing. Now I can see what other people are cooking. And through that experience, our viewers got to understand more about the ingredients. They learned about Western ingredients here in China, which they didn't know about. And when I started the show, Kate, no one was using olive oil in cooking here. No one was using it. We started using olive oil, getting the Western chefs showing, why would you buy olive oil? How would you use it? Do you cook with it? Do you use it on a salad? Helping them understand how to use it. The impact of our business then meant people were looking for it in the shops. because they knew how to use it. And then they started buying it, which increased and helped trade in the country increase. So there are a lot of things, ingredients that are Western, that people learned how to cook with them from my show. And that meant they went and bought the products, and that meant that trade also was increasing.
Oh, so there was also business connection.
Absolutely. So people, everything that you do always has a knock-on effect to other industries. And I found that my show had a massive influence on what people bought in the shop.
And now that we've learned more about this program, so at the time, few Chinese viewers knew about Australian cuisines. So how did you convince the TV executives to start a program that addressed this cultural gap?
So it wasn't just about Australian food. When we started the show, it was about Western food. And the TV station was, I would say, it was very, very smart. They wanted to really encourage the local people to watch. Now, if they could only watch Chinese food, they could watch it on so many different channels.
Yeah.
They could go out and they could eat it. They could go and cook it themselves. But where were they going to find out more about Western food? It was very difficult. So for them, they thought, if we've got this show that is focusing on all the international foods, then people will want to watch it because they can't get it somewhere else. And so that made us have a very unique selling point for our show.
So were there any other strategies that you used?
Yeah, so the most important strategy, two things that we did was I represented the viewer. So we had a chef that was really good at cooking.
So it was like an interaction between you and the chef.
Yeah, so the chef was cooking and then I would go, how do you do that? So I tried, even though I knew how to cook, I wanted to represent the audience and ask the questions that the audience would ask. Like, oh, if I buy a whole bottle of olive oil, how can I use it in a number of dishes? Because it's going to cost me. And then they would tell me all these different things. So it was me representing the audience and asking the questions that they would want. That's one of the biggest things that worked. The second thing that we did was we wanted to teach them how to buy. So we would go to the shopping centre and we'd go to the supermarket and the camera would follow me around and I'd go, oh, here's a mango. Yeah, this looks good. Or how do I choose the best type of meat? What piece of beef do I choose? How do I know what it looks like? And the chef would teach me how to buy the ingredient, and that helped our audience do the same.
Oh, it's like more of a how-to.
Yeah.
So what do you think was the hardest part of filming?
The hardest part of filming and doing anything is complicating things. You'll always become very successful if you do one thing and you do it really, really well. So our show has been on TV for 20 years and you would think, well, maybe we need to change the structure of the show. In 20 years, there's only one thing that we changed, and that was the section where we went and bought the ingredients. So at the beginning, we used to always go and buy the ingredient to show and help people. After I'd say about 8-9 years, we never did that because people already knew what to do. So we left that out. So it's really hard to go, for me, I love things that are new, I want to do something different.
Yeah.
So we change the structure. It's the worst thing to do. You can keep the structure, but you become better and better and better at it. The way that we film, we do it, the bowls that we put the ingredients in, which one looks better, do we have a camera bulb, all that kind of thing. But the actual structure of the show never changed. You will see on my show, I stand on the same side every single time. Every single time. And it's those things, when you're doing something to be successful, you often go, oh, it's working really well, oh, I get a bit bored, let's go and do this, let's change this, when you don't need to. Simple and you go deep, go really deep, keep everything simple, go deep and get better and better and better at it. And that's what we did for 20 years.
So you have to like maintain the core idea.
Keep the core idea, repeat it. All of the best TV shows, if you analyze them, they have exactly the same structure. And they just follow each. They might talk about something different, but actually the structure is exactly the same for every single show. And that's what brings people back. They come back because they know what they're going to get and they like what they're going to get. So it's with anything, with social media, the ones that you follow. Why do you follow them? Because they talk about the same thing over and over and over again. They don't then start talking about something different. They stick with what they're good at and they get better and better and better at it.
So the familiarity is also what appeals to you.
Absolutely. You chose this because you liked them. You started following because you liked them. If suddenly they start talking about things, random things, you're going to not start to follow them. You're going to keep following them when they keep showing you more and more of what you've already liked.
That's true.
Yeah.
So how does a TV show like yours actually earn money? So is it through advertisements or sponsors or?
Yeah. So let's remember my show was around before all the social media and things like that. So back in the day, our show was all about advertising. So there are two ways that a TV show will do the advertising. One is if our show was a popular show, which it was one of the highest ranked shows, when we take a break and there's an ad on, that around my show, the ad space is a lot higher. So they get paid for the ads, okay? So that's the first way that they get advertising. And then the second way is sponsorship, where they work with us in the show. So it might have been a pot, or it might have been wine, it might have been ingredient like olive oil, or it could have been something like that, where they pay us to use their product on the show and to talk about what we're using and why it's good and how it's going to help this person, our audience, cook this dish better than anything else. So that's the other way that really TV sort of monetized. Now, there is a third way, is the IP, is when you take that concept and you create your own product. So we did do like events where people come and they pay for the event. You can do DVDs. At the time they had DVDs where you have a following. So there are things like that where with the change in online media technology, TV has become less relevant, but the concepts are the same, but they're now just more on social media, on YouTube, or on some of the, Bilibili or things like that. They use that in a similar way, but they can monetize it much quicker.
Okay. As a female foreign host in the 2000s, did you face any extra challenges? And if you did, how did you overcome them?
Kate, I have been so fortunate in my life that I really have, when I was younger, and I suppose when you're young, you're building up your confidence. And I did a lot of sport. When I was young, we moved around to a lot of different countries, and it was difficult. And it helped me develop who I am. And so what's happened is, when I was very young in my career, I was quite clear on the type of person I wanted to be and who I wanted to be. And I didn't have many obstacles, and especially because it was TV, I didn't have many obstacles being female. So that wasn't a problem. Now, later on, when, for instance, being on boards and doing international trade and business and things like that, they are male-dominated areas, absolutely. By the time I got in and started doing that type of business, I was so confident with myself and my ability that I saw it as my uniqueness. So I didn't care. Actually, I loved that there were more men in the industries, because when I walked in, I stood out. And I was okay, because my media background, I'm okay to stand out.
Yeah.
I love to stand out. But I know that I can also create an impact and influence people. So I think my advice for anyone young starting out, the most important thing you can do, whether you're female or male or anything else in between, I would say is know who you are. Think about if someone's talking to you and you don't like the feel of it, why don't you like it? How does it make you feel? How do you want to become? What type of person do you want to become? When you start to get really clear on that kind of thing, you become unstoppable. I tell you, you become unstoppable. There is no one in this world that is better than you at being you.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps already.
There's no one. So that's where I've always thought, you might be all very good at what you're doing, but none of you are better than me at being me. And I see things differently. I've traveled, I've done sports, I've done so many things. I can always add my personal point of view. And you, even though you're young, if I was to work with you, and I've had so much experience, I am not you. I have not had your experience. So you will see things from a completely different point of view. And that is as relevant and as important as my views on something. So that's really important for anyone that's watching and for any female that's wanting to build up their career and have confidence. It's a fact. No one's going to be as good at being you as you are.
Are you guys hearing this? This is great advice. Thank you, Heidi.
That's all right.
Thank you for sharing your insights on so many things, and I'm sure our viewers will find this very helpful. That's it for today. I'm Kate. Thank you.
Thank you.